So Nicola is a very unique junior mining company in that, first of all, we have positive cash flow. So we're very creative to get to a point so that the cash flow is able to fund our exploration. We have 4 key assets. So the first asset is our Craigmont Copper Project. And the Craigmont Copper Project, what's very exciting is that it's the highest grade copper project in the history of North America, adjacent to the largest copper mine in Canada. We also have a fully permitted mill that processes gold and silver mill feed from anywhere in the province that brings cash flow. We have a fully permitted silver mine that could be reopened if silver prices strengthen. And we have a 75% economic interest in Dominion Gold Project. Yeah, so the new Craigmont Copper Project is, again, as I mentioned, it's the highest grade copper project in the history of North America. Now, it's hard to fathom that it's largely unexplored because typically if you have an asset like that, there will have been a lot of exploration. But there were multiple owners of the claims, and it was not until November of 2015 that we were able to consolidate the ownership. And for the first time, you had one owner since 1982. From there, in December of 2015, Dr. Paul Johnson joined our board, and in 2016, the very first drill hole we did was 85 meters of 1.1% copper. So it's very exciting. There's a lot of copper to be discovered there yet, and we're in the process of planning a robust program for 2024, and we're also able to fund that internally. What we did, so stepping back a little bit, is that in 2020, we thought that there's a lot of upside potential. So what we did is we applied for what's called a MIAB, and a MIAB is a 5-year permit. That 5-year permit that we received in November of 2022 allows us to do 199 drill holes and 14 kilometers of trenching up until November of 2027. In the meantime, what we did is we did a ZTEM survey, which is a survey over the entire project. We now have superimposed that over an electromagnetic survey, and we've completed some IP survey. We'll do some more IP survey early in 2024, and what that will allow us to do, it'll put together, and what's really exciting is that everything is matched up very well. So we're seeing a footprint that is not contradictory. Everything aligns and tells us the same story. So in 2024, that's where we're going to be targeting the drill program, looking at additional skarn as well as porphyry. So Treasure Mountain, we're in the process of applying for another MIAB. If I were to put a value on Treasure Mountain, the value of the mine is known. We're not getting value for that, but certainly there's a lot of value in the infrastructure, the permits, but the real upside is the backside of the mountain. The backside of the mountain, we've had, when we did soil sampling, at surface there's a vein that comes up, and we had we had samples that graded 1 gram gold, 7,700 grams silver, it had copper, zinc, lead, and this is all at surface, but there's never been a drill hole there. So the step 1 is to get our MIAB, step 2 is to do exploration. Well, my background, I was an investment banker at Goldman Sachs, and I've seen distress. I've seen that without cash flow, you're always at the mercy of the market. So it doesn't matter if you have good drill results during bad economic times, your share price is going to go down or the value of the asset goes down. So we needed to really focus and put ourselves in a position where the cash flow could fund the project. Now that said, I mean, we own the land, so we own 900 acres, and our mill site is classified as an industrial site. That allowed us to open a rock quarry, a gravel pit, and it's very important that these two are both in a partnership with First Nations. We also have a soil business where we bring on soil, which goes against, it's part of our remediation, but it also brings in cash flow, and are milling us. So really, we focused on getting to the point of cash flow and then using that cash flow to fund the exploration rather than going to the market all the time. it's funny, like there's so much focus on ESG right now, and I think that everybody should embrace ESG. It should be part of any type of business and any time, but it's become a an acronym that everybody now suddenly knows. But we've always embraced ESG. We use the power that runs our mill is associated with Merit Green Energy. Merit Green Energy is a clean biomass, so the energy that runs the plant is green. As far as like the water sampling and the soil sampling and a lot of the work that is done on our site for reclamation purposes, we work with the CNA and the CNTEM. So rather than doing that internally, if you want to be transparent or have the community understand what you're doing on site, rather than doing it internally, you have local First Nations or local businesses do those operations or those services for you. And that way, because it's not just doing ESG, it's allowing people to understand exactly what you're doing. So we go beyond just focusing on ESG. We also make sure that the community's involved with that so that they understand what's going on our site. We have a program that our exploration program for 2024 that is developed with Nitetsu, a Japanese mining company, and ourselves, that which includes IP and exploration. We will come out with our year-end newsletter, and then we'll start our exploration for next year. And so those are very exciting news that's coming. And obviously, we're very excited about the prospects of our exploration program next year. I think that, especially in times when the markets don't have a lot of direction or there's instability, when you look at the upside of a project, you also want to look at the downside. And the downside is running out of cash. So Nicola is a project that protects investors on the downside through our cash flow, but we give all the upside that any other project can offer on the exploration. So it's almost like a hedge opportunity here, where you're protected on the downside and you can reap all the benefits of the upside through positive exploration. Yeah, just continue to follow us. There are very few projects in British Columbia, and we all know how difficult it is to get permits. We have 3 permits. We have a mine permit at Craigmont, we have a mine permit at Treasure Mount, and we've got a permitted mill. And there's a lot of value in having that, and it's going to open a lot of opportunities for a company, especially when you start finding minerals to expedite the whole process of going into production.